Hello, hi everyone. So let's get started. Thank you for joining in. Today is the third and the final day of TestU. So I hope you guys are having an amazing time here. I am Chandani Chopra, and I will be hosting and moderating the panel discussion today. And before we get started, I would like to thank all our partners and supporting and promoting the event for us. So let's get to know our three esteemed panelists who will be discussing on what PI has to do with good software quality and with career opportunities. Our first panelist is a member of quality engineering leadership team at Accenture and the QE recruiting lead. Please welcome Inga Becker.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you.
Our next panelist is leading the quality transformation services and is thought leadership portfolio lead of software engineering in Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. Please welcome Thomas Karl.
Hello and welcome from Munich.
Our final panelist focuses on creating and executing overall test strategy, including regression test automation and performance testing. He is an SME for test automation and performance testing and engineering. Please welcome Mohit Srivastava.
Hi all, welcome.
So without any further delay, let's get started, team. And we are curious to know your opening thoughts for the day.
Thank you for that nice introduction. And once again, hello and welcome to our session. It's our pleasure to conduct this interactive panel discussion together with all of you today. And it's my pleasure to be here with my dear colleagues Inga and Mohit. And let us start with a few more words about ourselves. So Inga, I would say ladies first. Would you like to say a few words about you?
Thanks, Thomas. Thanks to everyone that has joined today. It's really a pleasure for me to be here and talk to you and hopefully talk with you later on. So I'm with Accenture for 17 years already, working in the field of quality engineering, formerly known as testing. I have been I had the pleasure to work on very different projects, big ones mostly, to do integration testing, to do a strategy outsourcing for payment transaction testing, for example, and so on, agile testing, test automation, very, very much in the colorful field that quality engineering is. And currently I'm also leading in our leadership region, Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. I'm leading the talent search, let's say. Let's put it this way. Later more. Over to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Inga. Yeah, my name is Thomas. I'm now 12 years with Accenture, located in Munich, as said. I'm currently responsible for the quality transformation topic here, so meaning supporting our clients in huge agile transformations, digital transformations, in order to ensure the quality, also acting as an assessment lead and quality coach in that area, across industry at multiple projects. That's in a nutshell about me. And now, Mohit, it's your turn.
Yeah, so I have a total 11 years of experience into IT, mainly starting with the DevOps as my career and then later moving into test automation and performance testing. Right now in the current project, I'm more into an SDET role where I'm trying to work into more CI/CD pipeline and how to integrate different tools. I have different experience into many large-scale projects and working into different areas like project management or test strategy management and test data management as well. So, yep, that's me. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Mohit. Our topic of today is what does PI have to do with good software quality? And Mohit, talking about careers in software and quality engineering, you recently rejoined Accenture. Why did you do that?
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. So I was part of Accenture before in 2013 till 2020. It was like 6 years long period of Accenture where I got a chance to learn test automation and performance testing, also improved my role as an SDET. And then I left Accenture to try out something new. But I realized that the platform that Accenture provided me to be more closer as an SDET role was I was not able to find it in the other firm. So then I plan to join it back again, and it feels like more home to me, right? So as an SDET, I feel like more home in Accenture, like kind of different projects and kind of different challenges that I face, and that's the whole reason that I'm back in Accenture again, starting this May then.
And we are really happy to have you back in our big family with now almost 500 colleagues, which are all testers and quality engineering enthusiasts by heart, really. We all live that topic, we all like that topic, and we all build our careers on that topic, really having a specific focus on all the different areas we are offering, starting from the test management and test strategy over in test automation, SAP testing, and so on. So really split throughout a very big bandwidth, but we will talk a bit later on that topic again. And I mean, having all these experience and all this exchange within our company and also with the broader testing community globally, we really thought that talking about this pricing in software, in the context of software quality, is still a very prominent topic. And Inga, do I need to unpack now my old 𝒔𝒑𝒆𝒊𝒂𝒔 formula collection again now to understand that, or what is the myth about that?
No, not really, Thomas. So it helps to know that pi is indefinite. But let us talk about software quality first, shall we?
Yes, let's begin with the terminus quality engineering first of all, because I still think it's somehow quite new, or at least many people have many different understandings about what is exactly meant with that terminus. Could you bring in some light in that topic, Inga?
Sure. So when I started with Accenture in the earlier times, there were testers that did testing like they took an Excel sheet and then they entered manually data, and then there was an expected value, and then they entered if this value has been met, and then they did this over and over and over again. Very repetitive, very manual. And this has changed because the world has evolved. I mean, we all know that IT has become faster and faster. Test automation was the first step towards this, but now we have nearly outgrown test automation, or at least evolved it to AI testing, for example, or to have the need of stats and so on. So due to the fact that there is more and more IT in the world, there is the need for quality. The old way of ensuring this quality has not been working anymore. And this is why we now call it quality engineering, because what has changed in quality engineering? We are not only looking at the last couple of days or weeks if a software is developed. We start from the very beginning to bring in quality. So, for example, requirements engineering, and to bring in quality there is part of quality engineering. And then it goes on and on over the whole development time, during the testing time, until the very end when a product goes live. And I mean, you all have heard about DevOps and so on, and also in the area of testing, there has been a lot of changes. And this is what we call now quality engineering. And even more, it's not only in all principles that it's new, but it's also a lot of new, how to put this, ways of testing. So I'm thinking about digital testing, I'm thinking about mobile testing, and so on. So yeah, all these changes needed to be there. This is why we call it now quality engineering, and engineering because it's still something that we do very focused, very driven with processes and so on. And the rotations that we did, and this is maybe something that not everyone knows. So in our company, we also did a rotation of the 500 people that we are, from being testers to being quality engineers today, to make us future ready. And I believe that we are running kind of in the front. And yeah, we'd like to share this in a bit more detail today with you.
Thanks for the insights, Inga. Now, having heard what 𝒂𝒊𝒕 means for a company and for a huge organization, I'm really keen to know, Mohit, what does it personally mean for you? So how did you feel about that transformation from your personal point of view?
I think it was a big transformation. So as Inga said right before, testing was more of a phase at the end of a software development life cycle. So we used to have a big testing phase before we were deploying our products into the production systems. But now, as you said, it's more of a quality engineering, and the word itself justifies. So we have engineered the quality in different software development life cycle, right? So we have quality in the requirements. We try to make some quality in the development. There are quality gates. I see myself when I was an automation tester, I was just doing the automation testing of the test cases which I received. But now I'm having a discussion with the different stakeholders like development leads. We are going into the discussion to understand what should be the quality gate for the development. Like I don't know, let's say JUnit coverage should be 80% or development standards should be followed. Uh, and this is not just with the development, right? If I go back also in the requirement area, that's also where I'm involved with the product owners to see, okay, what should be the quality of the user story, what should be the quality of the epics, how the documentations are maintained, so that the vision of the product owner has been passed on by everyone within the team, right? So not just developer but testers, and also I don't know, maybe the operation teams who are working on it. So completely change of pace over here, and with also agile coming into the picture. Earlier it was just test automation because we were at the scrum, but now safe and different kind of other agile methods are coming in, and we are going into more DevOps and more integrated way so that we can have much more faster output. So it's a big rotation, as Inga mentioned, and also the skill set that are required are also quite different from what we used to have it before.
Yeah, that is exactly what I can also see talking with my clients, seeing on the demands which are coming in. The demand and the requests for really hands-on engineers which are able to code by themselves is really increasing dramatically, and also the upskilling of their on-site testers is again increasing dramatically. It's really the trend, like you said, which started with the whole Agile and DevOps movement, to have a kind of turn into the more technical areas, in order to really utilize all these robotic process automation technology and so on for software testing. But Mohit, as you said in the very beginning, you are now for some time already, let's say, living in the future, because you are 𝒂𝒊𝒕, a software development engineer in testing since years now. Could you explain us a bit more about that role? What does that really means on a daily basis for you? So what are really the changes?
As a change, when I was also working as a test automation expert, right? This was, as I said, I was very focused on only on test automation. Now, as an SDET, I'm discussing how to have more automation on the test data management, how we can generate more test data, how we can integrate different toolings which are used. Let's say, I don't know, we have Sonar Cubes, we have Fortify, which are having a quality standard on the development level. You have quality gates. I'm in discussion also in the writing the DODs and DOR, so definition of ready and definition of done in the different areas. And these all discussions are actually giving me a complete view of the product, right? So earlier it was mostly like I was just getting a test case and I was trying to automate it, or I was trying to test case and to see what is the expected behavior. But if you even don't give me a test case, I'm able to understand what the product vision is, and what is expected out of a quality, and what are the different test cases and acceptance criteria that have to be met. So this was a different rotation, I would say. Like, so the complete change in my day-to-day life, right? And this also gives me an opportunity to learn different technologies as well, talking to the infrastructure team, talking to the DevOps team, and trying to get our testing more faster, more speed, more accurate. Yeah, this was a good change, I would say, and it was a big change also on the SDET part. So looking at myself really back, there are a lot of activities now I'm doing, and I'm learning new technologies. It's fun, I would say. It's really fun when you try to do all these things, try to automate and integrate these things. Yeah, these tools together. And just one thing to add, I remember me being an automation tester earlier. I was very happy when I get a green status where test case passed. Now I'm happy if I start my test case from Jira or with any test management tool, and the results come back to the test management tool. So really reducing the manual effort of also reporting, right? So everything is trying to get connected now, everything is trying to get automated, and then you have that continuous speed that you want in agile, actually. Yeah, so agile is all about the speed of exchange of information within different streams. And when you are able to do that technically as well, not at the process level but also on the technology level, that what makes it fun, challenging, and also like happy at the end of the day.
Yep. I know what you mean, and I just see one question coming in which perfectly fits to what you described. How do you engage developers, Mohit, in your teams to also feel that spirit, to also increase engagement of the developers, supporting you, working closely together with you on quality topics? May you can share your insights on that too.
Sure. So I think Inga would agree with me, right? So right now the estate is a new roles that are available in the market, and you don't have much people around, right? So we are trying to train them. But in the process, when you're trying to build a team, you will not find for every team member an estate who is part of the DevOps. So then you look towards the developers who have that kind of technical skills, who can help us out and try to give them some knowledge what we are expecting on the testing side. And then with help of their technical skills, we try to also get this quality onboarded. So not at the development level, but I have also seen that developers are also playing multiple roles where they're writing automation scripts as well, and then really connecting everything end to end with on a CI/CD pipeline. So that's how I see a developer really supporting us at also extending their knowledge towards the testing area, and trying to also be more on an SDET role, which is actually a software development engineer in test.
I can only enforce this from my experience. We really need to start communicating and collaboration with the developers, because only together as one team we will succeed and be fast enough and efficient enough to still be able to survive in today's world.
Yep, for sure. And I mean, that is really a very interesting constellation in the end, because on the one hand side, we could agree that to the statements that traditional testing is a thing of the past, right? On the other hand, we also need to state that quality is becoming more important than ever in our digitalized world. And I mean, just looking at an example which I experienced last week, it was one of the very first client travels I had after the long Corona home office time. I went to a town in the northern part of Germany, and sitting in the train, downloading an app to my mobile phone in order to book a ticket for the public transportations there. And I tried it for more than 10 minutes, and it doesn't work out anyhow. I mean, maybe I was too stupid, maybe the app was too buggy. I hope really that the second option is true. But in the end, it resulted that I said, okay, then I go by taxi from the main station to my client location, because I was not willing to tackle with this thing a longer time. And I guess this is something we could experience even more in the younger generations, that things must work functional and also from a performance point of view. So they are not accepting long waiting times or blue screens like we had in the past. Yeah. And I mean, so in the end, everything is about quality. But Inga, how can we tackle that? How can we ensure that we are able to manage that situation and set expectations by the end users?
Yeah, I totally agree that we really need to do this. And as Mohit has been stating already, it's about the collaboration with the developers. It's about ensuring that we implement quality measures from the very beginning, that we think in requirements engineering when we are writing the requirements already, how can we improve the definition of done, or even have one at last. Yeah, in the earlier times, I remember there was often none. So it's good that at least Agile has brought in some of these things, and people really do it. But I think the challenge is, on the one hand, how to bring quality in the whole process, that we have been talking about already a bit. But don't forget also IT is in quite of everything. So you need to tackle also the different areas. You need to think about if you're dealing with a mobile application, it's very different from testing a web page. If you think about the performance, for example, it's often forgotten that you also need to do performance testing. You have the whole AI world, where it's not only challenging to test an AI system itself. I don't know how many of you remember the issue when Alexa started to laugh and people became frightened, or has started to give inadequate answers. It hasn't been tested properly. So here, a lot of things have been put in place already, and it's still what we're working on. And this is why, for example, we in QE, in quality engineering, have such a colorful field, and it's sometimes difficult to explain to people because it has so many different areas and specializations where we do stuff, right? And how do we do this that we still have people that know about this? This is we have different circles in our company, and each circle tackles one area. So, for example, there is a circle tackling performance testing or agile testing. And what does a circle do? It's experts coming together and thinking about how it's done today, how can we improve it, how can we educate new people to learn about it and become the experts of tomorrow and drive the things further. And I think this is really, really something special that we're having here. And we are investing a lot of time to bring our people forward. So to train them, to teach them, we have classroom trainings, we have other online trainings, you can do certifications. But this is not where we're stopping. It's also about the coaching aspect and the personal growth, where you really talk to people and think about how can we enhance their career and enhance them to become better and better. And I think Mohit can maybe give some example about the 𝒔𝒑, which is one of our circles, and talk so that you get an idea in more depth. Mohit, can you?
Yeah, sure. So Inga, as you mentioned, right? So it's not just training, but we kind of also provide a learning path for the people who wants to come into 𝒔𝒑, so explaining them what tools and technology they need to have an understanding. Plus, we give an exposure into different projects as well, right? So I've seen in the 𝒔𝒑 that we are somehow doing some brown bag sessions where people from different projects sharing how they are working in 𝒔𝒑 in their project, how the CI/CD pipelines are working, what technologies they are working on. Sometimes there are people who are also presenting what difficulty they are facing, and then we all are sitting together to try to get an answer out of it. Okay, how to fix this problem, how to automate it. So as an 𝒔𝒑, we are actually really supporting this if people are interested to be in 𝒔𝒑. So we are having this proper learning path where we try to give them trainings, and then also trying to give them more and more exposures into the different projects of an 𝒔𝒑, where they get a chance to really work on the life issues, right? Even in the current project areas. I can take an example right now in my team. In a performance testing area, I was happening in an open role, but I then got a person who was coming from a DevOps background but wanted to be in an 𝒔𝒑, and then we pick him up, and then his knowledge of DevOps is helping us to improve our pipelines. And overall, we are also teaching him how the performance testing or how other toolings are working and integrating with the CI/CD pipeline. So it was a great support for us, a great mixture, and then he's also happy working as an 𝒔𝒑 in our project right now. So this I would say, this is what 𝒔𝒑 is doing right now, trying to get people interested and also helping them to build their career as an 𝒔𝒑.
And not just, I mean, to add on that, not just build pure 𝒔𝒑s, but also increase the knowledge of all the other members of the other practice groups in what does 𝒔𝒑 mean. And I mean, you even managed it to get me understanding a bit as a business administration guy what technically is required to really work as an 𝒔𝒑, what are the challenges and which tools are required, right? Which is in addition very important to broaden the knowledge and understand and tackle the quality assurance topic really holistically in the end. But Mohit, we are stating now since almost half an hour that being an 𝒔𝒑 or the role of an 𝒔𝒑 is very important, and starting with quality assurance as early as possible in the software development process. But what skill set exactly is required as an 𝒔𝒑?
That's a very important question, Thomas, that you mentioned. So as an SDET, I feel at least everyone as an SDET should have a knowledge of one programming language for sure. More than one is better. I see myself also having exposure to Java or C#, .NET, and VBA skills, but I've seen other colleagues who are also having JavaScript or also Python, which is currently a quite famous programming language in multiple areas. This, together with an experience into understanding the agile process, and also the DevOps, because without DevOps we cannot do agile. So DevOps is like a technical counterpart of agile as a process management. And then I see SDET also working on different test methods like behavior-driven exposure to behavior-driven development, or data-driven development, keyword-driven development, depending what are the requirement of the projects or the IT landscape. Also, they should be able to understand technically how the things are working. So I feel SDET are more of an architect at the testing level who glues all different test phases into one. So let's say development test phase on the JUnit level, test automation, performance testing, and then SDET helps you to glue all these testing phases and see how it is working from end to end from different phases. Yeah, and that's where they need to find out the bottlenecks into the integration. They need to see what are the thresholds in the existing code, and also understanding how this whole object-oriented functionalities are going around. So it's an important skill set. It's more of a technical skill set, which is completely different what you had, what we used to have for a test automation or for a performance tester, which was very specific to those area. SDET needs to know an overall picture, right? So he should understand the development and also the testing, and not just one test automation area, but it's good if they have an understanding of performance testing and security testing to glue it together, everything to the CI/CD pipeline.
Okay, thank you, Mohit. So I understand that skill set is really a skill set of very high demand. Inga, you as our talent leader, working closely together with many different recruiters to find people in the market, dealing with that requirement. Is it easy to find such skilled people?
No, unfortunately, not at all. Some even say it's like finding a unicorn. So they're rare, those people. Why is that? As Mohit has said, it's either you have testers which haven't been exposed to do a lot of technical things in the past and they still need to learn those and maybe sometimes miss the hands-on experiences, or you have the developers which have the technical skills but often lack interest or skill set of the testing processes, what it requires to bring in quality. And the combination is quite different to be found, which brings me to Pi.
So can we maybe finally draw the secret from you?
This is why we're here, right? So yes, sure. Pi is, I think everyone maybe remembers the T-shaped profile. So in the agile world, it means that you have overarching skills, broad skills, and you have one specialization where you go very deep. And Pi is the evolution of this, where you say you have two specializations. And why is that needed? Well, we have been talking about DevOps, we have been talking about SDETs, which is kind of a dev testing. So it's always a combination of two areas. And this is because the world has been getting interlinked quite a bit. And therefore, this is what we really need. And the pie shape, there's some people even say you need a comp shape, but I believe pie is quite good because then you have two specializations where you go deep. And my advice is, nevertheless, as pi is indefinite, I stated that in the very beginning, and this is quite important to me, it also means lifelong learning. So today it might be SDET, tomorrow it might be something a bit more different. So it's about keep learning and checking what needs to be known in the future. In the moment, it's the SDET skill that is very heavily in demand. And if there are any people in the audience and are interested to join us, very welcome to approach me afterwards.
Yeah, and in the end, what you meant, what you said with lifelong learnings, this is really a very important connect to career opportunities, right? Because working now in over 12 years in the field of quality assurance or quality engineering, how is it called now? during the time, it was required to learn a lot new stuff. I mean, we started with Agile and DevOps topics, but also different contexts depending on the client you need to learn with. But each of these learning opportunities was always a good opportunity for me to grow personally and also do the next step in my career. So learning new things, applying new things, and also mentoring others in applying these things in the end after I understood it at my own after that. Mohit, how is your experience in that lifelong learning? And I mean, you are a great example of a pie-shaped profile, right? How did you manage to become such a unicorn?
I think I just got a good opportunity to learn different technologies, right? But as you mentioned also, Thomas, I see myself when I started my career more of a developer or a DevOps role. And then when I continue with my career into test automation performance testing, now with the changing trend with the DevOps and the Agile, actually I can stitch up all my knowledge, right? So earlier what I gathered in a different areas were all in silos, right? So when I was a developer, I was only thinking as a developer. Now I'm as a tester, I was just thinking as a tester. But now as an SDET, I can really connect all the dots, right? So how a requirement analysis is done, how the development team is working, how they're interacting. So this really helps my day-to-day life, right? So if I have to go back to the tester to to a developer to explain what is the issue, how to maintain the quality, my skills that I learned from development also helps me. So first of all, SDET is really, or DevOps is really connecting different phases or different roles, and then showing how it is working from end-to-end flow. And yeah, this was really important for me. And then as an SDET, I see like I'm getting a chance to learn different technologies also on the development side, which definitely is interesting for me, right? So to see how different teams or different phases in software development cycle are maintaining these qualities.
Okay. So let's come us to an end, because I guess we three could talk for ages about quality engineering, as it's really our topic of the heart. We really love quality engineering, which is, by the way, also our hashtag on LinkedIn. But more than talking about ourselves and discussing in this small group, we would really like to discuss with all of you, exchange your point of views, and continue discussing on that. Before we do that, just two last questions from my side. Mohit, one very short last question. Why exactly do you like work as an SDET?
For me, it's more being closer to programming and automation because I really love them. But if I think of an SDET, like I get an opportunity to work with different technologies and different tools, and then they're really thinking how to integrate them, how I can make them communicate with each other. Yeah, and that's the fun part and challenge part for me, which I really enjoy in my daily life when I go into the project as an SDET role.
Okay, and Inga, every task and every job is ultimately also a bit about your personal vocation. So, what does your personal pie look like, and what excites you so about these tasks on your job?
I'd say my personal pie, the one pillar is 17 years of project experience I have in the field of quality engineering. So it's very a profound basis of diverse projects in different areas. The other pillar is that I'm also acting as a thought leader and a talent lead, and I know about what is required in the future. I have, for example, been writing an article about self-healing test automation and so on. And this knowledge, future and past, allows me to transform our client and help them to become also to improve the way they get quality into their software products. But as you're asking for my heart more to say, I'd say the work at Accenture, it's most about the people and the learnings. I'm a very curious person. I like to learn. I like to learn new topics, but I'd also like to learn about people. And this is what I adore so much, that I am having the honor to work with so many different and so many great people and their ways how they do things. This is what drives me and gets me out every morning. And what about you, Thomas?
Thank you so much. Um, about me, I mean, it's about my personal drive for curiosity. Like really, I like to try new things. I like to find solutions for very difficult situations. And if I found that, what I really love is train other people's, coach other people's in learning out of these insights I gathered during that journey. So that was one of the main reasons why some colleagues and I decided to publish our book about House of HR Quality, for instance, while we are continuously writing articles or blog posts on various different quality topics. In my case, mainly in the HR area, area. But that is really what I like to do and what I really enjoy, to have the opportunity to do that besides project work and all that stuff. Yeah. So thank you, Inga. Thank you, Mohit, for your very personal insights and personal stories. To summarize and open the discussion, I would say we can summarize that traditional testing is really a thing of the past. Nevertheless, software quality is more important than ever and still increasing in the level of importance. And this is why quality engineering are in such a high demand, and especially SDETs are in, in such an extraordinary high demand, I would say, and still really rare in the market, which gives all of us the opportunity to develop ourselves in that direction and accrue a career opportunity, or kind of do a readjusting of our career and develop either as a tester or a developer into such an SDET role. And having said that, I would say now let's have a look into the chat and tackle a few of your questions. And I just saw one question which is repeating more often. It's asking about the cooperation of testers and developers. To summarize a few different questions, testers and developers in agile teams, and also across different software development methods. So I understood that question in a direction of how can we cooperate in a kind of hybrid environment, so working partially agile, partially waterfall. Inga, maybe you can bring in your point of view on that.
Yeah. For example, in my last project, they started to become agile, but they came out of the agile world, the waterfall world. What did it mean? Yes, they did work in sprints and so on, but there was no communication between the testers and the developers. And what happened? They changed something in development, and the testers didn't know, and it was test automation. And the test automation test cases obviously failed because they haven't been adapted. And I think one area that we did here was that we started the communication, and also automation can be done more easily if you talk to the developers and really know. But as test was really always say, they check what I do, developers often fear to let testers really in. And you need to do a lot of change management to overcome this. So it's more working on the brain and the attitudes and minds of people, and not so much about implementing processes. This is the experience I've got. Mohit, do you want to add?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Inga. It's more of a mindset. So even if I set up a process, I've seen that it's not working if the people do not understand the mindset about how to transform in a DevOps area. And the difficult part in a large project is always that not every team is following the agile. So there are some teams which are going in a waterfall model, and some are in agile. So the communication between them is also sometimes difficult. And difficult in the hybrid, as I said, it's always like that. So when the information is not passed on from the requirement analysis, what changes coming up towards the testing, I feel testing is always crushed in between, right? So I see that the developments or the requirement phases are always sometimes delayed in these areas when it's more of a hybrid structure, and the go live dates are not pushing pushing further because they have market campaigns lined up. So it's the testing who's always suffering to deliver as much as possible in the limited timeline, right? And this has been difficult, and plus when the information is not reaching to us properly, this causes an issue. So it's always, we can create as much as tooling or technology we can integrate, or we can create a lot of processes, but until people understand that the mindset that has to be changed, and the importance of the exchange of information between different streams, we would be running around this circle, right? So we would be always having some gaps, and it would be difficult for us to reach our final goal.
Yeah. So very hands-on advice, get them to talk, get them to understand what the other is doing, and then hopefully get them to understand what they need to do together, and break down the barriers or the wall even that is between development and test.
Yeah. And I think just one thing to add, I've also seen that it's not just shift left that we as a testing team are trying to understand different streams. Sometimes I feel it's also shift right, where we ask the development team to understand actually what we are doing as a testing, right? So it's more of a coming in the middle, right? So both the streams from different ends are trying to integrate more and more, and then you have these kind of things like DevOps, dev testing, DevSecOps, and all these streams are now starting to integrate with each other more and more.
Yeah.
And also to include the business side more into the whole development phases, because having all this functional knowledge right from the start avoids many of misunderstandings in the development process in the end, and also helps us enablement of the end user, for instance, at the very end, and also increase the acceptance by the users if they are involved right from the start. And if we have the time, there's another question which catch my attention. It's about how to motivate people to learn all that new stuff and really do that continuous learning. Inga, maybe you can start answering that, and then we can add our thoughts too.
That's a tough one. I think, first of all, the motivation is mostly coming out of the people themselves, and not everyone needs to know about or learn about everything. Like I said, I have been working very different projects because I like that, but we also have some people that like to go very deep in one topic, and that's also so great, just to make sure that the topic that you are working on is still valid and needed tomorrow. I think this is what you need to watch out for. And I think the motivation comes from working with great people, doing things that you like, and also from balancing very well what you're doing. So today's generation, most people don't want to work 60 hours like people of the past. So I think companies need to allow their people to find the right balance between all the interests that they're having. And be it sports aside, or be it family, be it whatsoever, I think if you have a solid working, a solid life balance, let's call it this way. Sorry, there's something in the chat that just caught my attention. So a working life balance, I think, is very very important. And then the curiosity and giving people the chance to explore new things, and giving them more also responsibility. If I think about my last project where we had an offshore team, before I came, they always had to do just the things given, and I handed over responsibility. And it was, you could see like flowers. They opened up, and they wanted to work, and I'm pretty proud, because in the end I had the team where the most people just wanted to stay and keep on working. So I think it's about how you treat people.
Yeah, and from my personal perspective, I would add to your thoughts also, bring in team experiences. So it helps a lot, for instance, if you do a certification program, for instance, not as an individual, but together with your team. If possible, bring in some gamification approaches to have fun while learning. So not just sitting there and reading hundreds of pages of a book, but really having fun and applying the so learn stuff directly into your day-to-day work, so that everyone can see, okay, this really impacts my work. This really helps me and makes my life easier, if possible. And especially if we are talking about the very important automation topic, this is for sure the case. I mean, when I started my career, I was sitting days just creating test data. And if I check the way of working now, it's just a single click and the test data are there. So it's really easing up and avoiding some kind of boring tasks in the end.
Yeah, and just from my side to add one shortly, just tackling this question in a different way, more on an emotional front. When I'm giving a training for the people on from manual tester who wants to move into test automation, I sometimes feel they're a bit afraid. They're thinking that they don't know coding, how they will handle it. And the moment we write our first script and it works, you can see that smile on their face, right? That they were afraid first, like a small kid, to take a first step, that they might not be able to succeed. But the moment they succeed, right, they are so happy about it that they were able to automate one script which is now working, and it was like getting enlightened, right? And the second part is extending this automation knowledge outside your professional life. Like, I could imagine I don't know, automating Immobilien Scout to find an apartment in Frankfurt, that's just to send out some filtering out. So really thinking not just inside your professional life, but also extending your automation knowledge outside your professional life, more into personal area, how you can think about it. Yeah. And then that's really fun. So I really ask people to, not to be afraid. Like, I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat saying what kind of skill set you need to learn for SDET. Do you need to really learn DevOps? So, as maybe coming back to the first point what Inga mentioned, pi is indefinite, right? So answer to this question is like, the technologies would be keep on increasing, toolings would be coming out. So the more you learn, it will still not be like complete, right? So it's a continuous process. Yeah. My idea is like, don't wait for the opportunity. Like, just install Jenkins on your system, start automating something on your system, install Jira. They are everything available on the cloud. It's easy. Just take 1 month subscription, start doing it on your own, and then you will realize you'll have so much fun when it starts to interact with each other, when the toolings works, everything works. So that's what one thing I want to ask to people, right? Take a step forward, right? Be confident, be courageous. Don't be afraid that, like, you might fall short about learning technologies. Go ahead, and then the more you learn, the more you will interact, and the more it will be fun for you. Yeah. So don't be afraid. Like take the first step. Go, come towards the estate. Learn any technology. Let it be cloud. Let it be AWS. Let it be DevOps. Start from somewhere, and then everything will start connecting at one place.
Yeah.
Back to you, Thomas.
Couldn't agree more, Mohit. I just was thinking about when I came back from many trainings as an analyst and consultant. I guess I drove some of my project leads crazy, coming up with so many improvement ideas. But in the end, it's exactly what you said. I just had fun on doing this stuff, and I would like to apply it. And then everything makes sense and answers your personal question. So why should I do that? What's in for me? Because I like this task. I have fun. I can develop myself. So
yeah,
very important.
We still have 2 minutes left, Thomas. I'd like to ask a question to the audience, if that's possible. Because obviously we're thinking a lot about how we can break down the wall between developers and test. How can we make test or quality engineering attractive? Because it has had some people thought about it of being boring or something like this. So I think we have a lot of great minds in the audience. Would you mind sharing your thoughts on these two topics? How to make it exciting, how to make it attractive, and how to break down the wall between developers and the testers to join them as one team.
That's very interesting, Inga. So, guys, please feel free to share your thoughts on the chat. We will read them out. So we have some answers kicking in. Switch role for a week in every month. Find the critical bug in the prod environment. Don't raise a bug until it's not able to fix in the same sprint so that the dev and the test team is on the same path. And understanding the way they work and code a bit.
Very, very interesting. Reading through your insights here.
Having one-on-one meetings with devs and have story kickoffs for tickets to discuss different layers of testing together before and after the ticket is pulled in the sprint collectively. Interesting. Support dev team in daily sync-ups.
Yeah,
Of course, yes.
that's good.
We do have some questions
Okay.
from the team. If you guys have 1 or 2 minutes, we can go through them, if that's okay.
Sure.
Sure.
So as per your experience, how can SDET lead and above help his team members in building a culture where everyone can help each other in building a pie-shaped profile?
Maybe I can start here, and then Inga and Thomas can add it. So as an SDET lead, I really want to, the idea is to talk to my team to understand where they have an interest or have motivated, and then really combining the teams to sit together and see each other's work. So I see a lot of comments, people saying that having one-on-one with dev, to be honest, it's not a bad idea, right? So as a tester, I would say my team to go and learn what is the life of a developer in a day, and also the other way around. So also ask the developer to understand what is the life of a tester in a day, right? So to see what kind of activities we are doing and to understand what they are doing as an activity in day-to-day life. And then from there, you can like really encourage the team, your own team, which I always do it even in my current project. Like I'm asking everyone, hey, why don't you download Jenkins on your local, right? Because they say, hey, I don't know how to do a Jenkins, or I don't know how to create a pipeline. I said, just download it, just install, I'll help you out. Let's make first pipeline together, and then you would be able to take it up. So really supporting the team to remove that fear out of them, really telling that, hey, you can do it. It's not very complex, right? Everything is available now in Google. There are so much open source available. People are commenting, developing. You have so many things to learn at every area. Like even the conference like this, I was there yesterday looking at Selenium 4.0, seeing what they are bringing in newly. Over here we are talking about the SDET. So all these platforms are helping us to gather more knowledge, and then yeah, as an SDET lead, I try to support them to do it more practically, right? So not just on theory basis, but really asking them to interact it. Yeah. Inga, Thomas, if you would like to add it.
You have been saying a great deal already. I'd like to add maybe that as a lead, you need to watch your own sayings and how you phrase things, so that you always talk positive also about the other teams. And in best cases, you formulate targets that both teams can reach together, so that you already break down this is the one team and this is the other team. Don't view it as this at all. Say it's one team with different capabilities, and let's work together to get this done. I think this is also be a front runner and a, how do you say, Vorbild, a
Role model.
thanks. Yes, Thomas, exactly.
Well, hard to add something, but maybe one specific example. What I do in my projects is I host always Tuesdays and Thursdays so-called topic exchange breakfast. So meaning I collect topics which people are interested in. and then we have a 30-minute informal breakfast, and one colleague or two colleagues are talking about their areas of expertise to show the knowledge or share the knowledge with the team. And we rotate in doing that, so that everyone can learn from anyone else in the team, and also cross-team participation is fine. To kind of hosting this regular exchange and giving them kind of official color, let's say that way, to do that.
Thanks, guys. Great to hear your thoughts. Pretty interesting about the breakfast call. So I think that's a great team bonding effort there as well. So we can maybe take up one more. Do you think AI, ML, and cloud, AWS and Azure, knowledge is essential for future-proof the testing career?
Looking at almost all of my current projects, I can say yes, because it gives you so much more flexibility if you are able to just ramp up on demand an additional test environment, for instance, in a cloud, which simply makes things so much easier. So that I would say having a good portion of knowledge in AI and cloud is crucial for all of us testers for the future.
Yes, can only agree. Yes.
Yeah, and just for me to add, I totally agree. This I think we see the shift right now. We are moving towards more AI and machine learning. You even see the tools right now. I think I started as an automation with Selenium, where we were writing the script. Now it's going towards more different tools, which are less code basis, more configuration, and this is all possible because we have the AI, which we can easily configure or easily identify the different elements on the page, which helps you to automate faster, right? So this is all AI and machine learning which helps you to do it. And cloud is I would say it's an amazing technology, right? It completely take out the infrastructure maintenance at your end, and then even personally, right? So I see when I'm more into gaming, I just can take a cloud environment to play my high definition games. I just do not need to install a new graphics card on my laptop, right? So it's an interesting technology, and I think everyone should have an experience and at least knowledge about how the cloud is moving forward.
Thank you, guys. Definitely looks like something we all should move towards. So we can take a last final question of the evening. Okay.
Sure.
So to develop pie shape profile during mid-career, what is the right path to approach it?
I think the pie shape profile can look quite differently, right? I mean, we have been addressing it here in the way of dev and test, so as that career paths, but also other pie shape profiles might be possible. So, for example, someone who is very very capable in performance testing might want to learn about cloud, for example, and become an expert also in the cloud area to combine the two things to a great package. So it's a bit difficult to answer in total, but if we're focusing on the estate and assuming that you're already a test engineer, as I can read, I think it's the technical things that you want to go deeper upon. And this is what Mohit had been saying in the very beginning already. Just start somewhere that catches your eye. I mean, if, for example, learn a bit of Java, play around with it, look for opportunities to apply this to your job, speak to people that work as developers, learn how they do things and so on. And then I think everyone will fall in place eventually after a while anyways.
And maybe just one thing to add, mid-career, I think we do not feel that, if you need to develop as a pie shape, you need to start from zero. So if you see back, you already have learned half of the knowledge, right? So if you are mid of your career and you have learned whatever, it's all start to connect, right? That's the important key. So you don't need to start from zero. Yeah, just think that you are already done with one leg, and now you need to see how you can expose to the second leg. So then you convert your profile from more T-shaped into more pie-shaped, right? So don't think it's start from zero. It's you're already half the way there, and that's you need to extend it, your reach, remove that fear, and then try to pick up something new. Yeah, so this will just automatically build up your pie shape profiles.
And bringing all the expertise in you already gathered within your career, I feel it makes easier to connect the various dots, so that you more easily or faster see the purpose or the sense of the whole thing, and bring it in the right order, right? Just to add that, and maybe another point what I really like to do. I'm also a so-called counselor or people lead, we call it. So when I have coaching sessions with my with my colleagues, with my peoples in my area, we always do coaching in both directions. So I coach them for sure, give them career advice. But we schedule a 45-minute sessions, and out of these 45 minutes, there's a 10 minutes coaching back session included. They are telling me what they are currently doing, why they think this or that tool is important, or the new hot shit I need to be aware of. They tell me about the issues and the problems they are currently solved in their projects or in their day-to-day work. And that is really a fantastic way to learn easy by a very broad variance of people. And it helps me developing my pie in the end, but it also helps my colleagues increasing their coaching and mentoring skills, because they need to explain very technical stuff to me, and I need to be able to understand. And if they are able to explain it to me, they are also able to explain it to other colleagues, which helps them very much in the teamwork and being recognized as experts who can help others in their agile teams.
Yeah. When you have been telling this, Thomas, I recognize that we are in a quite good position with our company, because we have so many different people there where we can learn from, and we also have so many opportunities with the different projects to, if we want to decide to learn deeper into one field, that we can look for those opportunities. That might not be true for people that work elsewhere. For us, it's a bit easier maybe. So look into where you are, and maybe broaden your field also to people outside your current company if it's not possible there.
And I mean, being a participant, sorry, Inga, being a participant in a conference like that and discussing topics with the testing community is another way to do exactly what we described: exchange, learn, and increase your knowledge and awareness of new topics.
True.
And just last thing to add from my side, like a key message to everyone when I see myself as a tester and how you can move to 𝒔𝒑. Think more of solution oriented approach, right? So don't say, okay, now the test is failing or the infrastructure is not available and I'm blocked, right? No, you're not blocked. You have the technology, you have multiple solutions. Think out of the box, think out of your roles and responsibility. Don't think yourself as just a tester, right? Extend yourself. You can be a developer, you can be a requirement analysis guy, you can be a product owner, right? And then try to find more solution rather than saying I'm blocked, I cannot continue at this place, right? And this is very important message that I try to give my team, like, why you're sitting right now and they're saying we are blocked. No, you're not blocked. Think out of a solution. Yeah, try to find how you can proceed. Yeah, that's a message. And when you have this attitude, you would be getting chance to learn from different technologies. You would be going out in Google and trying to say, okay, what would be the solution for this issue, or what would be the solution for that issue. And then that's where you get this, get this opportunity to see that you have much more than your profile just as a tester, right? So you have that coding skills, you have that I don't know, process management skills, yeah, something like this.
So you mean just the sky is the limit, at least until you got your pilot license.
Rightly said, guys. But yeah, learning never stops. So there we go. And thank you so much, Thomas, Kyle, and Inga, Mohit, for being with us today. And yeah, everyone else has been a great audience. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the sessions. Okay, thank you. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.